will I remember no more. In that he said, a new covenant he hath made the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away.
You actually read that right that time. So okay.
What was wrong with the first covenant?
He perverted the name
of God. What was wrong with the first covenant? If I could ask you a question. If I could ask you a question, do you mind?
That's what he's not his name.
What was wrong with the?
That's what it
Lord
said.
is not his name.
That's
it's all good. That's all right. Let him say that. Let him say that. Let him say that.
Written in English original of God.
Let him say that. Yes, the Lord.
It's the Lord.
Right ball, right? Let me ask you something. What was the first covenant? What was wrong with the first covenant? Why do you have to give a new covenant? Because I think
so. That's Israel.
If I'm not mistaken, you don't have to keep the laws because the laws are written in your heart, right? No.
I'm saved because I've trusted Jesus Christ as my Savior.
So why don't you have to keep the laws?
Because I have New Testament revelation.
That don't tell me nothing.
I'm not without law to Christ, right?
Can you explain to me with those scriptures?
Yeah.
And then also the other question I had, what is the good tidings? Or what you call
1 Corinthians 15, I read it to them earlier.
Read it again.
Okay, let's go back.
Read it again.
Because this is the most important. Because if you're proclaiming something to be the gospel, other than what is the gospel,
right?
Galatians 1, you're accursed of God.
But when we say the
and
gospel,
I don't want to be accursed of God. Do you want to be accursed of God?
When we say the gospel, when we say the gospel is good tidings,
I'm okay with that. I like gospel better, but the gospel is
good. Good tidings though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So 1 Corinthians 15. 1 Corinthians 15.
That's how they got. He don't care, man.
Y'all read the good tidings?
Yeah. That's the first one you read. He don't care, man.
Every scripture we brought out, he said we read it wrong.
No, I didn't.
And we were perverted.
Yeah, you see,
perverted some of them.
You see, the problem is what you try to do.
He asked me what the sign.
What you try to do is like what you said. I got a better one. These scriptures don't contradict each other.
They don't.
You agree with that, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So that's what I'm saying. We have a bunch of scriptures, and all you have is Galatians 1.
No, I got a whole bunch.
But you say in Galatians 1 that it's talking about everybody, but the context in all of the whole book is about a certain people.
Well, hold on. So,
like
what
the
does
good
the Bible say? 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not be ashamed.
Exactly.
What?
Rightly dividing the word of
dividing. So there's division.
Rightfully dividing the word.
Rightfully dividing. So it's not all the same.
Like, go into that scripture behind dividing, man.
Yeah.
You tell me the scripture divided. I wish I said if a kingdom be divided against itself, how can it stand?
God said to divide the scriptures, did he not?
What do you mean by divide?
I don't mean chop it in pieces. I mean rightly divide. You put some things in some places and some things in other places, right?
So
right?
can
I'm not going to build an ark. I'm not going to build an ark, right?
What?
I'm not going to build an ark.
You're not going to build an ark?
Right? Are you going to build an ark?
I don't get why that question.
God commanded to build an ark one time.
Build an ark right now.
Okay, why? Why? Rightly dividing. What do I have? I have New Testament revelation that says, or newer revelation that says God is no longer going to flood the earth with water.
Okay.
Fair?
Okay.
So because I have truth from God regarding that,
why is the New Testament revelation and not the Old Testament?
Newer revelation.
They're all revelations, right?
It's all revelation.
The Old Testament is revealed, right?
But some things are newer than others.
It's not newer. The New Testament reveals the Old Testament.
Progressive revelation.
Does not.
Do we go to Shiloh anymore?
Listen, let me ask you a question.
Do we go to Shiloh?
I want to ask you one question.
Okay, go ahead.
The name of the Lord is YAHAWASHI.
He read Hebrews 8. He read Hebrews 8 and 10, right?
Yes, he did.
Hebrews 8 and 10, right?
The first time he perverted it, but the second time he did read it right.
But he read Hebrews 8 and 10, right?
Yeah.
Which talks about the new covenant, right?
Yep.
Now that's contained inside of Jeremiah 31:31. So the New Testament,
I'm okay with that being
the New Testament, okay, the New Testament is a revelation of the Old Testament. The New Testament, what you're reading about in the New Testament is prophecies being fulfilled of the Old Testament. Who you call Jesus Christ? Was he not written in the law?
Yeah.
Was he not written in the Old Testament?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Was he not written in Jeremiah, Isaiah, that he was prophesied? So the New Testament is the revelation or the coming forth of the prophecies of the Old Testament. So the New Testament can't trump the Old Testament.
What does the Bible say? the Old Testament, right, is a shadow of good things to come, but it's not the very image of the things.
It's the speaking of the things that are to come. The Old Testament
I'm okay with that.
is the speaking of the things to come.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. It's true.
Like the example, he read Hebrews 8 and 10.
Yeah,
It goes back to Jeremiah, and if somebody could get Jeremiah 31:31 and read the whole thing, it tells you that the Most High will never forsake Israel.
Right.
It tells you that it tells you the covenant, and that the Most High will never forsake Israel.
I got a problem with that.
So the New Testament is the revelation, as you're saying, or the unveiling of the prophecies within the Old Testament. Paul and all the other teachers were teaching the people what was written and said in the Old Testament. So you can't throw the Old Testament out.
I definitely don't throw out.
Okay, but you can't say, you can't trump the New Testament against the Old Testament.
You can't trump it.
Well, you can. What you can do is you can read and learn something, right? Let's take a look.
Can you trump it?
No. Well, yes. So
You can't. You just said you can.
I can't.
How can?
But let's read. Let's read. This will give you a better example, right? God gave a law to the Jews, right? The Hebrew people. He said, "Don't eat fish that don't have scales," right?
Right.
Okay. Okay. We agree. He said, "Don't eat swine's flesh."
Right.
Right? Okay. Colossians chapter
Oh, I
2.
hope you don't bring out Peter.
We'll go back there if we have to, but we
man.
don't have to.
Okay.
Colossians chapter 2, verse number 15, Bible says, "And having spoiled principalities and powers, he made a show of them openly, triumphing over them in it. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of an holy day or of new moon or of the Sabbath days, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Christ." So why is it that I can eat shrimp? Because I have New Testament revelation.
So what that means, that means automatically, because you're saying you got New Testament revelations, that the Old Testament is done away with, and the New Testament
is done away
trumps the Old Testament. It's not done away with. How can it be done away with if the man reading you a prophecy in the New Testament that was spoken of in the Old Testament? How can it be done? Wait, hold on. How can it be done away with if you read Romans chapter 9, round about 21? Round about 21, and that goes back to Hosea chapter 1, verse 10.
So let's read,
So
because you
can
said
you pick and choose what you want to be done with?
No.
What you want done away with?
Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31.
Let me read real quick. Wait,
No, you
hold
go
on, cause this. Now you read that, right? Now I got something that's gonna trump that.
what?
It's really not gonna trump that. It's gonna trump your breaking down of it. Give me Revelations chapter 14, verse 14. Now it's not gonna trump the scripture. It's gonna trump your understanding of it, because you're understanding it wrong.
Go ahead.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 14. And deceiveth them that...
Start verse 12. My fault. 12.
God, it's
Start at
Revelation.
12. Yeah, it's 12.
12.
God, it's
Yep.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 12.
14, 12.
Oh, come, sorry.
It's all good.
It's Revelation chapter 14, verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yahawashi.
Where's the 10 Commandments at?
It's not in there. You just perverted the Bible.
Right.
So
Read it exactly how it says.
Read it how it
It's
says.
Revelation
Right
chapter 14, verse 12.
is every word of God
Here
pure?
is the patience of
Is
the
that not
saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus.
Okay, so you gotta have the commandments of God. Where's the for you? We're not gonna say the laws, because I know you're gonna say you perverting it because it don't say laws when the commandments are the laws.
Okay.
The commandments are anything God commanded us to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Right.
In the New Testament too.
So he says, read that first part again.
Revelation 14 and 12, it reads, here is the patience of the
Where does that
saints.
say I can't eat shrimp?
Here are they that keep the commandments of God.
That keep the commandments of God. Where are the commandments?
So I have right here a command.
You can't trump. Where's the commandments?
It's not a trump. Nowhere does that say anything.
It said the
specific
commandment. Okay, well
about
listen.
the dietary law. This specifically mentions the dietary law.
Okay, let's go back to the Old Testament,
Right,
where the
so
Lord
we're gonna-
said, these
we're gonna
are
rightly
the laws and
divide.
statutes that I command you to keep this day. Are the laws and statutes not commandments?
Hold on, let me read you something.
No,
This will help
answer
you.
that
This will
question.
help you. What's your question?
Are the laws and statutes and the 10 Commandments, which are laws, are they not commandments? Of God, not Jesus, of God.
Yeah, they can be. Yeah.
So then, therefore, you must keep the commandments of God, like it says right there. Now that trumps that. Now, if we're gonna say Scriptures trump scriptures. That trumps
That
what you
doesn't
just
mention
said.
the dietary law.
It don't got it. It says the commandments of God.
Okay.
Did God not command the children of Israel to keep the dietary law? Do you know what a commandment is?
You know what he commanded Isaiah
Do you know what commandment means? Do you know what to command means?
Ezekiel. You know God commanded Ezekiel to
eat
lay
shit.
on his side
and eat shit.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
So
Did Ezekiel eat the
are
shit?
you doing that?
Furthermore, it's shit against the law to eat. It's
I
not.
wouldn't want to eat it, but
It don't matter
Colossians
if you want
2,
to, is it?
Colossians
It's
2 says that you can't judge somebody if they want to eat that.
Yeah, because you got to understand what they were going through. Paul was teaching people that did not know the laws. So to bring them into the faith, he told them not to judge them mainly on high holy days. All right?
That's in there, yeah, that's in there too. So let's read something, The Bible says this, right?
What you had? All right.
2 Corinthians 3, right?
You can just hold it later.
Who also hath made us able ministers of the New Testament.
Wait, read it again. Start again.
Who also hath made us able ministers of the New Testament, not of the letter, but of the Spirit, for the letter killeth, but the Spirit giveth life. But if the ministration of death, written
In
in
Romans chapter 7.
hold on,
Go ahead.
written and engraven in stones, was glorious, so that the children of Israel could not steadfastly behold the face of Moses, for the glory of his countenance, which glory was to be done away. How shall not the ministration of the Spirit be rather glorious? For if the ministry of condemnation be glory, much more doth the ministration of righteousness exceeding glory. For even that which was made glorious had no glory in this respect, by reason of the glory that excelleth. For if that which is done away was glorious, much more that which remaineth is glorious. Seeing then that we have such hope, we use great plainness of speech.
What was done away with?
Hold on. And not as Moses, which put a veil over his face, that the children of Israel could not steadfastly look to the end of that which is abolished, but their minds were blinded, for until this day remaineth the same veil untaken away in the reading of the Old Testament, which veil is done away in Christ. But even to this day, when Moses is read, the veil is upon their heart. Nevertheless, when it shall turn to the Lord, the veil shall be taken away. So what is he saying? The Old Testament is to be done away with. Now, I'm not throwing it out.
Could it be
right?
done away with?
That's what it said.
That you understand that the scripture
That's
told
what
it
it
all.
said.
How could it be done away with if he's telling you in Revelations to keep the faith of Jesus
Okay.
and the commandments of God? How then, if he's reading you prophecies in the New Testament being fulfilled that come from the Old
So that
Testament,
was something.
how then can the Old Testament be done away with? It's not that these things are wrong. It's that you're understanding them wrong. Because you want to do away with the Old Testament.
That's what it said.
Because your salvation is not in the Old Testament.
What's the whole book of Galatians about? Dealing with people who are trying to maintain circumcision and Jewish law keeping.
Romans
and
chapter.
the book of Galatians says we're not doing that.
Go ahead.
This is Romans.
Okay, let's go to Romans.
3 and 31.
Yeah, that's
Got it.
right there. Yeah, I'm gonna start at 29. This is Romans chapter 3, verse 29. Is he God of the Jews only? Is he not also of the Gentiles? Yes, the Gentiles also. Seeing it is one God, which shall justify the circumcision
Romans
by
6 and
faith
15.
and uncircumcision through faith. Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law.
But you
Now read
verse
that.
27.
Romans chapter 6.
I skipped it.
Romans chapter 6,
You didn't
verse
start there. You
15.
didn't get it.
What then?
And then Paul goes on to say this.
What then? Romans chapter 6,
You don't even
verse
read into
15.
4. You missed the whole thing.
What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace?
I didn't say I'm
God
without law.
forbid.
Now go back to Revelations again.
Hold on.
It's all saying the same thing.
Hold on. No. He missed a whole bunch. Let's read the whole.
Revelation chapter 14, verse
Let's read the
12.
whole Romans chapter
Here
3.
is the patience of the saints.
Keep reading.
Here are
Like,
they
I don't
that
know
keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus.
Let's go
I mean,
back
they're
to
saying the
Romans
same
3.
thing.
Let's look at the whole Romans 3.
It
Is
doesn't
that
say
fair?
all the commandments.
Can we read Romans 3?
It says the commandments.
Oh, some of them.
He didn't keep all the commandments. He kept some of the commandments.
Oh, some of them.
Noah, yeah.
We're not supposed to be like Jesus, who kept all of them.
You keep all the commandments?
We strive to.
Didn't say that.
We strive to.
I didn't say strive to. I said do you.
Well, nobody can keep all the commandments. That's obvious.
There you go.
So what? So we should just not try? Can you keep all the statutes in America? No. Can you keep all?
What is the purpose of the law?
The purpose of the law is to bring forth fruit and justice.
The purpose of the
That's
law
what it
is
tells
to
you.
show you that you can't keep the law.
That's not the purpose of the law.
Yes, it is. The law is
Give
not
me
for
a second Ezra chapter 3.
The law is not for a righteous
No,
man.
well then what's
the laws are for sinners.
Okay, let me ask you something then.
It shows you you're a sinner.
If that's the purpose of the law,
When the law says,
let me ask you something.
When the law says thou shalt not steal, and you take something that doesn't belong to you, your conscience says you're a sinner. You're guilty.
Okay.
And if you break one law, you're guilty of all. So what the law does is show us that we're all guilty. That is the purpose of the law.
Because that's what God wanted us. That's what He made us for, right?
That's the purpose of the law. So you.
So what He gave us the law for then?
Conflate all kinds of different issues.
What did He give us the law for? No, I'm sticking to it. But my question to you is this:
the law is a schoolmaster.
Can I ask you a question?
To bring us to Christ. That's what the Bible says the law is.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question now.
Okay.
What is the purpose of the law being there just to convict us that we're wicked or that we're guilty or that we can't follow it? What is it there for? And why is He keeping us? Why is He giving us the prophecy in Hebrews 8 and 10 to make us perfect where we won't have to teach each other if that's the purpose of the law?
That is, He's going to do that. And that is something that's going to happen. He wants us to be, hey, when I get a new body, and I don't have this body anymore.
You're not answering it.
I am answering. Then I'm going to be righteous. See, there's going to come a day when God takes this body and it goes and feeds worms.
I know all of that.
It's going to happen.
Yep.
And I'm going to get a new body.
Right.
Like Jesus' body.
Right.
And I won't have this old man anymore. It'll be a new man. Then I'm going to do exactly what God wants me to do. It's going to be by His grace.
For what purpose?
To please God. To please God. That's what it's all about. Everything's about pleasing God. And the fact of the matter is, we don't please God.
2 Corinthians
we break
6
His commandments.
and 2.
We break His commandments.
So are we to please God now?
Yes.
Luke chapter 1 verse 68.
How do we please God now?
We please God by humbling ourselves before Him and admitting that we are sinners who have to rely totally on His grace.
But you just said rely that we are sinners, though, right? You said that we are sinners, right?
Yeah, we are sinners.
What makes you sin?
My nature.
Okay, what is a sin?
It's disobedience to God.
Which is what?
The law.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So why are we not to follow the laws now?
Well, we're not. We can't. Well, it depends. Wait. They're two. Let's don't conflate two different things.
Okay.
Let's don't say we're going to please God and be righteous by keeping the law, because that's a totally different thing.
But we're not saying that alone.
That's not the point. You can't tell us the point we're making.
It says faith without works is dead.
Righteousness doesn't come by law.
Righteousness does come by law.
No, righteousness comes by faith.
Listen, all right. You don't know the Old Testament. Our righteousness is the law. There's a righteousness of faith as well. That's why Revelation said, those who keep the commandments. Listen.
Doesn't say they
it didn't specify that they didn't keep all of them or they did. It didn't say they keep some of them either.
No, the Bible tells us
Wait, let me finish. Let me finish. It said two things. It said the faith of Jesus, faith.
Let me ask you.
No. Wait, no.
Do you believe those men? Do you believe the men in Revelation 14 kept all of God's commandments? Yes or no?
I listen to you, now I'm going to talk.
They didn't keep all of God's commandments.
I'm listening to you, now I'm going to talk.
Well,
I listen to you, I let you talk.
You keep mentioning Revelation.
No, because I'm getting to a point that he wanted to deflect.
And he doesn't.
He wanted to deflect.
The men do not keep all the commandments.
Let me make my point. This is my point. We never said that the only righteousness you can have is in the law. We're telling you guys that because you think the only righteousness you can go through is faith. Right there, it clearly tells you the faith of Jesus, which is one.
That's His faith.
And the commandment of God, two. Just like James tells you, you got to have faith. Faith without works is dead. You got to have both. We never preached to y'all about just having works.
So here's what
just keeping the commandments. We said faith and commandments. That's what Paul is talking about in Romans. I know what you wonder, why you want to read it. Paul said you cannot be saved by works. But you cannot only be saved by works. You cannot only be saved by faith. That's why Paul said, should we sin?
Here's where you're getting mixed up.
Nah, I'm not getting mixed up. You just don't
There is
understand
outward righteousness
He's agreeing with me.
that you see,
He's agreeing with me.
which is based on law keeping,
He's agreeing with
which
me.
is based on commandment, which is based on righteousness.
Second time his old man cut him.
No.
Because I asked him earlier where the Hebrews come from. He said Assyria.
You gotta retrain him, man.
His friend said the right answer and said they come from a man named Eber. And he even
came
said,
from Syria.
Proud,
and he
man.
said you had to repent. You're
That's
proud.
right. No, I
He's proud.
did.
About the
You're
Eber.
proud.
Because he can agree when the truth is being spoken. You
And I
can't.
did.
Nah, you proud, man.
Scriptures talk about keeping your mouth shut if you don't know what the answer is.
Hold on.
Not winging it.
So Deuteronomy 26
1 Corinthians chapter
says that
6 verse 2.
Jacob was a Syrian.
Bro, read.
But did
1
King,
Corinthians chapter 6 verse 2.
This is
Do
why.
do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world? And if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters?
Now let me say this before he say I'm perverting it. We know that Paul was speaking to the Corinthians and he told them to set up judges, the least of them. We know that. But the point that we're making with that is that all the purpose of us going through the law and failing to be saved through who you call Jesus is that because the saints are going to rule the earth and they have to be righteous. They have to go through wickedness. The school teacher, as you said, which we couldn't keep the law, so we were wicked. We had a wicked flesh, but they had to be saved through faith. That's the learning that Jesus taught us. But it's all for a purpose. You're not seeing a purpose. The purpose is that God is going to set up a kingdom on earth, ruled by the saints, who we telling you is Israel, and those people have to know the laws, statutes, and commandments, and have to have faith and be taught up in faith. They have to have both. That's the purpose. The purpose of the law is not just to confess, just to make us out to be sinners or to make us to be guilty. That's not just the purpose of it. Yes, it brought us to YAHAWASHI. It brought us to faith. But it was all a purpose that the Most High set up for us to go through this so he can set his holy kingdom up on earth. But that's the purpose. That's the purpose. That's the order.
So here's where it's getting mixed up. There is what we call standing and state. Right? You said earlier, faith without works is dead.
Exactly.
And he's talking about Abraham offering up his son. Right?
Okay.
Now you guys quit reading at Romans 3. You didn't go into Romans 4, right? What does Romans 4 say? What shall we say then that Abraham our father is pertaining to the flesh hath found? For if Abraham were justified by works, he hath whereof to glory, but not before God. He has no glory before God.
we didn't
in
just
his
say
works.
just works. We're not saying that.
Okay, but
Okay, go ahead.
for what saith the scripture? Abraham believed God, and it was counted unto him for righteousness.
Okay.
See, because he put his faith in what God said, God declared him righteous.
And what? What else?
Well, he lived like a bum for several chapters.
Okay.
And then that was Genesis 15, right? Abraham
Right.
believed God.
Right.
Then Genesis 22, after he lied about his wife, gave
Romans
her to another
2.
man, right? And
Romans
all that
2.
other stuff, had an adulterous relationship
13 through
and
15.
a bastard child. He then does right in the eyes of man by taking this act of faith and offering up his son Isaac. So he is therefore, James chapter 2, justified in whose eyes? The eyes of men, right? So we're out here, we want people to know how to be justified in the eyes of God, because one day they're going to die and stand before him. And if you guys are out here, which is why I asked at the gospel earlier, and you say it's law keeping, or it's this, or it's that, or it's nationality,
We're not just
you're
saying
accursed
it's
of
law
God.
keeping though.
But the gospel, we're going to rightly divide the scriptures,
Right.
the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ.
But
1
for what
Corinthians
cause?
chapter 15.
I think-
to save men.
I think the point that you're
Die
missing,
for the sins
because they
of
read to you,
mankind.
they read to you the
Save-
prophecy in Jeremiah. What was the purpose
I
of
don't
him?
have any problems with the prophecy in
but
Jeremiah.
you're missing the whole point of everything.
That's the disconnect.
The
This is
gospel,
the
the gospel of Jesus Christ goes back to the prophecy. All right, we read about the good news.
God prophesied.
Y'all can get it again if y'all
What
want
did
to.
God tell Abraham?
But listen,
that
so-
all the nations of the earth shall be blessed through him.
and that's exactly what's going to
Because
happen.
of Jesus Christ dying for their sins.
Exactly. You know why? Because
so
when
not
Jesus,
just for one people, for all people.
you're missing the point.
That's
You're missing the whole.
No,
you're missing the end point of the story.
Well, I know the end of the story, but the main.
But you're
point
missing the point.
The death, burial,
How
and
is everybody
resurrection
gonna be
of Jesus Christ.
saved? Why is that important?
Because the only way for everyone to be saved, Jew or Gentile, is through faith in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, who is God, by the way.
Now, the good tidings, right, that you're
gospel.
speaking of. In the Old Testament, who is it written to? I'm gonna put it all together for you. Who was it written to? If you just be patient and listen to me.
I get it was written to the Jews. I get
exactly.
That.
You read that, right? It was read to Israel, right? How does Jesus Christ and Israel play into this whole big picture of Jesus Christ dying and the other nations being blessed through Abraham and things like that? How does it play out?
It plays out in
because
the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ for all men.
Why? Luke chapter 1 and 68. Read it.
Luke
and then I'll explain
1,
it.
verse 68. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been
Isaiah chapter 2.
since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers.
Go ahead.
And to remember his holy covenant.
Right.
The oath which he sware to our father Abraham.
Right.
That he would grant unto us that we, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear.
How do we serve him? What did he tell the Israelites in Exodus? That they would have served him by being a nation of priests. Who are they a nation of priests to? Now, amongst Israel, we had the Levites. The Levites were a priest to the nation of Israel. Now we got this new order of Melchizedek, where the whole nation is going to be a priest. Why do you need a whole nation of priests?
It's that nation? Let me show you.
It's that nation. It tells you you're going to go to Peter's. It tells you. Yeah, but that goes back to the old.
It does. But what does it say? Let's read it. Okay, so
wait a minute.
First Peter.
To the Old Testament.
It does. It points back to that. But let's read it. And
so
see what it says.
he redone it, something like that. He said, you know what? I'm gonna redo it and put everybody in here.
Listen, if so be ye have tasted that the Lord is gracious, to whom coming is unto a living stone, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of God and precious. Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Okay, go ahead.
It said a lively house, right?
Yes, a spiritual house.
Right?
A spiritual house.
Does that go into Revelations where it speaks about the new temple?
I'd have to compare them, but let's
goes into the new temple. This is a temple, right?
Let's read
Are not these people a new temple? Are these people not a temple?
These people are the temple.
Temples are made of what? Stone, right?
Well, here they're made of men.
I understand that, but I'm saying on earth. Yeah. If we build a temple to God, it's going to be made of stone, right?
But I'm talking about a spiritual house.
I understand.
Okay.
If we make a temple right now to God, like they did in the Old Testament,
okay,
was it not made of stone?
Yeah.
So Paul is comparing these people to stone, right?
Yes.
Now, when you read in the New Testament, in Revelation, it tells you of a temple that's being built to God, right?
A city.
Give me Revelations.
Hold on. No. We got to finish.
Okay, well, let me just say this. Let me just say this now.
Because I'm okay with that. We'll go back to it.
Let me just say this, because I just want to finish my point. I'll let you get back to it. Now, in Revelation, it tells you about a temple that's being built.
Okay.
This temple says, leave the outer court to the Gentiles.
Okay.
Because they're not permitted into the temple. Meaning what? They are not the temple.
I'm a born-again Christian, right? All that stuff is done away with. Well, let's keep reading. Right? A spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God by Jesus Christ. Wherefore also it is contained in the scripture, behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone.
Give me Zechariah real quick.
Elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded.
Oh, Isaiah 2, give me Zechariah.
Unto you therefore, which believe he is precious, but unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made the head of the corner, and a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense, even to them which stumble at the word, being
Zechariah
disobedient.
8.
Whereunto also they were appointed,
And
but ye
13.
are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, an holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, which in time past, watch this, were not a people, but are now the people of God.
Hosea 8 and 10 says, I will not be a...
had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy.
That's why you got to go back to
the children of Israel are a people.
No, they're not.
Yes.
Not in the New Testament.
They are.
No, in Hosea 1 and 10, it says they will not...
Now, God's taking people who are not a people
chapter
and
1,
making them
verse
the people.
10.
That's why you got to go back to the Old Testament.
Hosea chapter 1,
We get what you're saying.
verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people,
Read that again.
in the Hosea chapter 1, verse 10, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
It also goes into Lamentations. Lamentations tells you the same thing. Go ahead.
Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of judgment.
That goes back to prophecy. They're not a people anymore.
That's where it's going out of.
Okay, but
Now one more thing, because I want to
are we
deal
going
with
to interpret the New Testament in light of the Old?
We putting
the
up
Old in light of the New.
the Old in light of the New. All
Okay,
right.
so
the
in light
Old
of the
Testament.
New-
no, my fault.
In
Then.
light of the New,
The
that's
New-
talking about Gentiles. Now
No,
let's
it's
read
not.
Ephesians. Well, let's read Ephesians 2.
That says Israel.
Hold on, you guys just got a chance.
Hold on, before you read that, this links with that. This is Romans chapter 9, verse 25. As he saith also in Hosea, I will call them my people, which were not my people, and have
talking
beloved, which was not beloved.
He's talking
So
about
that's-
Now start up a verse.
Yeah,
you gotta get
Romans 9 and 24. Even us, whom he hath called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles.
Also the Gentiles.
As he saith also in Hosea,
Now he's pointing back to the Old
the Old
Testament, the
Testament.
prophecy.
Oh, why he said what he just said.
But what did he just say there? Jews
You
and
gotta keep reading.
Gentiles.
This is why he's saying what he's saying right
So
now.
Jews and Gentiles are
Israel is surnamed after the Most High. If you're no longer his people, you're no longer Israel. Israel is he, Prince of God. Okay? If you're no longer surnamed after him, you're no longer his people. You're Gentiles.
Right.
Furthermore, when you go into Maccabees, it tells you that they went after the ways of the Gentiles.
I got a
Okay,
question.
well that's cool.
I got a question. Were Adam and Eve Jews?
They weren't Jews.
Okay. Did they sin against God? They tried to cover their own sins, didn't they? What happened? A lamb was slain in that garden, and Adam and Eve were covered. And what did God tell them?
You said a lamb was slain
A
in the
lamb
garden?
was slain.
Where's
Yes,
that
a
written
lamb
at?
was slain.
what scripture is that?
Abel offered an offering by faith. He took a lamb and he offered that.
Right.
But see, here's the thing.
This is by the law.
Adam and Eve, they weren't Jews. They sinned against God. God slayed a lamb in the garden, clothed them in those lambs, and he gave a prophecy. He
You're
said,
going outside of the word, man.
no, I'm not.
You
Can-
just
can you
accused
show me
him of
that?
that,
Can
because
you
that's
show me
not
that?
in the
'Cause
scripture.
What do you want to see? He'll show it to you right here as I'm talking. So
Look at Hebrews
Adam
chapter
and Eve sinned
I wanted to
against
get to
God.
that
They
blessing
clothed
of Abraham.
themselves in aprons. They hear God coming. The voice of the Lord God walks in the garden in the cool of the day. What do? They run and hide. God calls to them. They come to God. And then he says, why did you hide? Did you eat of the tree that I told you not to eat? They confess that they did. And then the animal is slain. The blood is shed. They're clothed in those lambs. That's a picture of the Lamb of God who was going to die for their sins. And God prophesies about that. He said, He said the seed of the woman is going to bruise the devil's head.
Who is the seed?
Jesus Christ. What happened? You've got a man. You've got a man who has a physical body. You've got a man who has a physical body. He's got a spiritual soul. So God is going to have a seed of a woman. Now, women don't have seed. Men have seed. But this woman, this special woman, is going to have a baby born to her, virgin birth, and it's Jesus Christ.
You know what seed is in the Hebrew?
You don't speak Hebrew. Come on. We've been down this road.
Yeah.
How you gonna tell me? You don't even know.
I'm trying to tell you. The point is this.
Don't even agree with
we got a man who is physical. He's got a physical body. He's got a spiritual soul. He has to be redeemed, spirit, soul, and body. God has to become flesh in order to pay for that.
God got to pay for Adam's sin?
God pays for all of our sins.
God himself.
Who else is going to pay for sin?
But Acts said that he couldn't come in the earth. He said the heavens couldn't.
Let me finish.
Jesus is God.
Let me finish.
How?
You've got a man who has a spirit, soul, and body. You've got God who has to redeem it all. So God, who is spirit, takes on a body of flesh so he can pay for the sins of men and redeem spirit, soul, and body. And now he has to have a physical people in order to do that. And that is why you have devils in Genesis 6 trying to intermingle with man to mess up that seed. That's why you have the devil constantly trying to kill the Jews from time immemorial to wipe out that God's chosen people.
Did not Jesus say angels can't
to wipe
have
out
sex?
that chosen people so Jesus won't be born. That's why Herod, when he hears about Jesus' birth, that's why he goes and wipes out all the children.
That was the spirit of the devil, right?
Because he's trying to kill, he's trying to wipe out this promised seed back in Genesis 3, who's going to bruise the serpent's head. So there's a reason God chose a physical people, because there had to be a physical man who was also God who could pay for sin.
Why did he choose
That's the whole reason Israel is important.
But what you're saying is the Most High God cannot control this guy named the devil, right?
I'm sorry, what?
The Most High God can't control the devil, right?
Of course, he controls the devil, but he gives the devil right. Read Job.
So the devil,
he allows
Satan
to do things.
So has free will.
Is the devil an angel?
He was lifted up in his heart with pride. That wasn't what God wanted.
Is the devil an angel?
He sinned against God. That wasn't God's will.
But he's an angel, right?
Anointed cherub.
Can he go against the will of the Most High?
I mean, it's an angelic race.
Read what you got, man. Read what you got,
Oh, sure they can.
about the angels.
Sure.
The angels
Matthew
which left their first estate.
They sinned against God.
Matthew chapter 22, verse 29.
You say he's an angel, right?
Jesus answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of God.
That's what y'all doing, man.
For in the resurrection, they neither marry, nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of God in heaven.
Yep.
The angels don't marry. They don't have sex.
In eternity.
Okay, who are the sons
But angels
of God?
can leave their first
Sons of
estate.
God?
And that's what they
Genesis
did.
chapter
And they
6.
came and they
Israel.
intermingled with women. The sons
you're
of
gonna tell me there
God
was no Israel,
saw
right?
women that they were fair.
So you're saying
Israel?
that the angels had to go into body.
So Israel showed
to
up
have
in
sex
Genesis
with
6,
women, right?
That's what they did.
But he just said.
Now, I'm not sure. No, wait a second.
What is the name
Now,
Israel
wait a
mean?
second.
Are you not sure about
the
that?
name of
It has everything to do
Oh,
with
yeah.
uses of
Okay,
the
who
word
showed up at Abraham's tent?
Well, let me let them talk.
Okay.
God and angels. And they ate. They had a physical body.
They never ate.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
trying
they
to
did.
figure out.
It tells you in the book of Tobit, they don't eat. Angels don't eat.
When you go to the book
Okay,
of Judges,
he just read it out the Bible.
Mom, he couldn't eat.
He didn't eat their
He didn't eat at all.
offering. Yeah, he
He
didn't
had
eat
to make the
that.
offering to God.
He didn't eat
But
that.
even going to that,
That doesn't mean they can't eat.
Don't argue, bro. Don't argue.
You said
That doesn't mean they
doesn't
can't
mean
eat because he chose on. Have you ever turned down a meal? You ever see something you didn't want to
But we
eat?
humans,
No,
man.
you gotta read that. He said, "I will not eat." You gotta
I
give
will
that-
not eat.
That's different than cannot eat.
I will not doesn't mean I cannot.
But it's saying right here,
I will
so
not
this
means
is
I
an odd
choose
point.
not.
What
So
is
the angels
point
have
of
flesh.
we're saying that the angels cannot go against the will of the Most High. That's what we're saying.
So you're saying Satan does the will of God?
I am saying yes.
So he's a liar. You mean God wants Satan to be a liar?
No.
Well, wait a second. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah. There's a thing called duality on the earth, man.
God wants murder?
Satan's a murderer from the beginning, so God wants people to murder.
Just like, wait. That just cut what they said.
Okay.
You said that the law was given to us so that it would convict us that we're guilty. So yes.
Yeah.
According to your logic.
The law is not telling you.
The law says thou shalt not murder.
That says thou shalt not murder.
It don't even say murder. It says in the English it says thou shalt not kill.
Right.
Yeah.
So according to you, yes, God wants people to kill.
No.
Well then why did he give us a law? Why did he give us a law? Why did he give us a law that we couldn't fulfill? Tell me that again.
Well, people have free will and they rebel against what God said. Just like Satan rebelled against what God said.
You just said that he gave us the law because he knew we would go off, right? That's what you said?
Well, he knew we were...
And so the law would convict us that we're guilty.
We're children of Adam.
Yeah.
So he just had the law just to convict us that we're guilty. That was the whole purpose of it?
There's other purposes.
There's other purposes, sure.
I said 45,
but
man.
The fact of the matter is, as far as eternity goes, it shows us that we're sinners.
When did the law come about? Did Adam and Eve have a law?
Does the Bible say if you offend in one, you're guilty of all? Okay, so we're guilty of all the law. So why are we going to say we're law keepers when it comes to righteousness before God? We don't.
Well, fuck it. Why should we read the whole Bible then?
Because God wants us to.
Well, he wants us to keep the law. He commanded us to keep the law.
Why do he want us to read the Bible?
Listen, there's nothing wrong with righteousness.
He wants us to live right and do
right.
There's
nothing wrong with it.
But let's don't claim that we do. Do you claim to be righteous?
I claim to
Are you a sinner? Are you? No, I didn't say strive. I understand that.
Are you all faithful? Let's kill this point.
Saying,
are you all faithful? Do you have faith at every single point? Are you all faithful?
No.
Well then why try to keep the faith? That's the same argument you're going for the law.
No.
Jesus Christ himself.
No.
Jesus Christ himself lost faith.
No, my faith is in God. It's not in me. It's not in me keeping.
But do you get weak at some points?
It's not in me being faithful.
Okay, but do you get weak at some points?
I'm sorry.
Do you get weak at some points in your faith? Well, then why keep the faith? Because you can't be totally faithful. You can't be all faithful. You can't be faithful all of the time. Sometimes you get weak. Okay, so why keep the law?
What are y'all doing?
Well, we're telling people they can trust Jesus and have their sins forgiven.
But you're saying that you're telling the people that they don't got to do anything.
No, yeah, they do. They have to believe God.
Why do they have to if you can't be all faithful and you can't keep all the laws?
They need their
See what I'm saying? That's what
they need their sins forgiven.
Huh?
You can't put the cart
They need their sins forgiven, which is breaking the law. Because sin is transgression of the law. How does that make sense?
Well, he that's in the flesh cannot please God.
Okay,
so why try to please him?
Why try?
Wait a second. You need to have a new birth, and then you've got a new man, like the Bible tells us. We got a new man and we got an old man.
Okay.
And those two war against each other. And sometimes...
But it said put off the old man.
We're supposed to, but do we always do that?
You know, when you come,
no, we don't.
Part of being born again.
But we don't always do that, do we?
We don't. But that's the thing.
See, that's it.
But you're striving, right?
Yes.
When you
but
sin,
my righteousness doesn't come from my striving.
But here's the thing: when you go off, when you do something wrong, do you try not to do it again?
Yeah.
What is that?
But I did it.
Does it say when you baptize?
And I might do it again.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay, hold on, real quick.
So see, my righteousness is totally Jesus Christ and Jesus alone.
Real quick. Hey, because I think what the problem is this.
Let me read that real quick.
Is what we do is we want to come out here and proclaim the gospel.
We gotta let him read. We gotta let scripture come out too.
This is First Kings.
Saved from what?
Sin. Then they can do right. See, then I don't just
saved from sin when
through Jesus Christ. You can't save yourself.
I just don't get how.
So then we tell people, if you're saved, what should you do? Fellowship with other believers, be under the instruction of God's word so that you will do right, because doing right is important.
What's doing
but it
right,
is
though?
not salvation.
But you know, it seems subjective because it's like doing right.
What
doing
is doing
right
right
according to the word of God.
What is right according to the words of God?
Yeah, that's what
well, how about not cursing, not blaspheming?
But that now you're putting me
not
under
committing adultery.
Now you're putting me under laws. You're telling me not to keep the laws of God, but you're putting me under laws.
New Testament that says to not commit adultery, to not commit fornication.
Adultery is in the law.
Okay, but
fornication is adultery. That's in the law.
No,
that's in the law.
is
If you want to go back to it, lying is in the law.
Yeah.
Lie not want to. So why shouldn't I keep the laws?
Laws are good. I didn't say this. Did I say the law?
You said
was
that
bad?
you said no. You never said that, but you said we can't keep it perfectly. So then we shouldn't keep it.
What are
No,
you
that's
out here
not what he said.
proclaiming?
That's
Okay,
not
what are you saying?
You're proclaiming righteousness through the law.
We're not.
We're proclaiming righteousness through faith.
But we're not.
Read this real quick.
Hebrews chapter 10,
When I asked you the
verse
gospel, you read
26.
me commandments.
For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for
First John 3:4.
Only
sin.
one sacrifice.
There's only one sacrifice. It's Jesus Christ.
But here's the thing, though. What was the point of him sacrificing his life?
Jesus?
To die for the sins of the world.
Okay, so then after that,
That's not what Luke 1 say.
Then he rose
That's
from
not
the
what
dead.
Luke 1 say.
Yeah,
That's what
I'm trying
1 John 2 says.
Oh, bro, that's
Luke 1, well, we can't
Luke 1
go.
says it doesn't say that, though.
What is Luke 1 that he
Luke 1
came to
says-
redeem his people?
Luke
That's
1 and 68.
Alpha.
Okay, but what does 1 John 2 say? That he's the propitiation, not for our
Well, he
sins
tell you.
only, but also for the sins of the whole world.
The whole world.
You're making that up. You
Can
added
I,
that.
can I go on and get him this point? Just wrap, like just to bring the whole thing together. One scripture, and then I'll wrap it together, and then y'all can say what y'all want to say. Go on and give me Zechariah chapter 8, what I told y'all to give. Zechariah 8, I think 14 or something like that.
Yeah.
Go on and get that. You're wanting to latch to the covenant that God made with
I
Abraham.
get it, though. I didn't
No.
do it. I get it.
Well, you spoke about the covenant that God made to Abraham about all the nations being blessed, right?
Well, that was a promise that he made. I don't know.
Okay, well,
did he say that
promise,
was a
covenant. Okay, promise. Okay,
But-
promise. Excuse
Yeah,
me, promise.
he said all the nations of the world would be blessed through his seed. One seed, Jesus Christ, right?
Okay.
New Testament.
Zechariah chapter 8. Zechariah chapter 8, I think it's 14. What you're missing is, there's a reason, like he said, it's a reason why Jesus came through this certain nation. It's not because of that, what you're talking about in Genesis.
He had to come through somebody. He had to be born of the flesh.
He had to come through the priesthood of the Most High for this earth.
No. Do you know why God
Exactly.
chose Abraham?
No, wait. We're not going to deal with that. Give me Zechariah chapter 8. Chapter 8, verse 14, I think. Chapter 8, verse
Zechariah
13.
Yeah,
This is Zechariah chapter 8, verse 13. And it shall come to pass that as ye were accursed among the heathen, O house of Judah and the house of Israel,
Isaiah 2 and 2 real quick.
so will I save
Right after
you,
him.
and ye shall be a blessing.
He going to do what?
I will save you,
And what you going to be?
ye shall be a blessing.
Why? Because Luke chapter 1:68 says that we may in a nutshell, that we may perform the duties that the Most High has set us up for, which is to be a priesthood to the whole world.
Service of God.
The service of God. Go ahead, keep reading.
Except now everyone who puts their faith
Where
and
is
trust
that?
in Jesus
Oh,
Christ
it's not
is
in
a
there.
priest.
Go ahead. And then you read
And
to
it shall come to pass, Zechariah 13 and 8. Zechariah 8 and 13, Salakia. And it shall come to pass that as ye were accursed among the heathen, O house of Judah and house of Israel, so will I save you, and ye shall be a blessing. Fear not, but let your hands be strong.
That's it, man. That's
don't have
it.
a problem
Isaiah 2 and 2.
Isaiah
Let him read this real quick.
chapter 2,
Let's follow that.
verse 2. And it shall come to pass
And read all the way
in
down.
in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it.
Right?
And many people shall go and say, Come ye, let us go up to the mountain of
They ain't
the Lord.
listening. Read that part again.
Isaiah chapter 2, verse 3. And many people shall go and say,
And say what?
Come ye,
After the Lord's government is established in the top of the mountains, they're going to say, come ye.
and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways,
That's prophecy.
and we will walk in his paths.
How are you going to do that without a priesthood?
Yeah, how?
Israel will be saved. I believe that.
Israel is going to be the priesthood. You got to wait till the priesthood is set up.
According to Revelation 1 and Revelation 5,
you'll be.
everyone who's washed in his blood is a priest.
Yeah, I know, because you're only reading the New Testament. You're not going back to the
read
Old.
Testament.
Well, obviously you're not reading these prophecies.
I don't have a problem with prophecies. Those are true.
But these prophecies are relating to the New Testament.
So what?
It's telling you the whole story.
What does
it's
that
telling
have
you
to do with denying the fact that he died for the sins of the whole world?
Because the world is Israel.
Now you're making something up.
I'm not making it up.
You just made that up.
Well, you want to go to Genesis 3:16?
Love not the world. So we're not supposed to love Israel,
I'm sorry,
right?
John 3:16.
Love not the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father's not in him. So we're not supposed to love Israel. God doesn't love Israel.
John
Israel is not the world.
Continue.
That's just you pulling that out.
Do you want to go to
here.
John 3:16?
Does God love Israel?
Love not the world.
Yes.
Okay, but he said
if any man love the world, the love of the Father
Well, they don't
not
do
in
the
him.
Greek.
Is Israel the world or is Israel not the world?
They don't do the Greek.
I do understand this, right? That when you have certain words, there's certain Greek words that's behind that word, right?
Come on, you don't know Greek, man. Why are you going to sit here and say
You know what a concordance is?
you don't know Greek? Did God give this book?
They call it a concordance.
Now wait a
Did
minute.
God give this book?
What, in English?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Why wouldn't God give it in English?
Wait a minute.
Why wouldn't
The
God
Bible it started off in English?
No, it didn't start off in English.
Okay, where did it start off? Where
I
is it?
said God gave this book.
Okay.
We could kill all this.
What was
John
the New
3:16.
Testament written in?
To help them right on out.
Have you seen it?
What was it written?
Have you seen it?
I've seen it.
You've seen?
I've seen it.
What was it written in?
I never seen an
What
old
was the Old
book, the
Testament?
original
What
Old Testament.
was the Old Testament given in one language or multiple languages? One language, primarily one language. Was the New Testament given multiple languages?
Okay.
Or primarily in one language.
Multiple
It was given in one language.
It was multiple
When
languages.
God compiled them together, he gave the whole Bible in one language, completely consistent.
So did not
he
the
did it in
Jews-
the Old
did not the
Testament,
Jews-
he did it in the New Testament. When he compiled them together, he gave them in one language.
Wait.
And right now,
Wait.
a Chinese pilot flying over Peking is speaking English to his air traffic control in China.
Was Paul?
Because English is the language of the world
Paul?
right
Was
now.
Paul not arguing with the Jews? Was Paul not arguing with the
That's a fact,
Jews?
man. That's a fact.
Yeah, Job 9 and 24.
No, I'm talking about English.
I don't want to
We're
talk
talking
too
about
much
English
Jews,
being
huh?
the language of the world.
It was Greek. Listen,
It was different language.
was Paul? Was
I thought you
Paul?
were commenting about what I said. That's what I
Was
said.
Paul not arguing with the Jews in Israel about Jesus Christ and the prophecy? Was he not?
Just
answer the question.
What do you mean? I don't understand. Was he arguing? Was he telling them that he was the Christ?
Are you giving?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Jews. In, what language did they speak?
Does it say there specifically?
What language did
chapter
the
are you
Jews
talking
speak in Judea? We're talking about Acts 21.
Were you there then? Do you know?
It don't matter. I don't need to be there.
You know what it
Just
says?
asking.
I don't need to be in China to know that they speak Chinese or Mandarin there.
Some people speak English there.
Some people do. But the majority of the land speaks what?
Chinese. But
Okay.
there's a bunch of different dialects. of
Okay.
Chinese.
So are you telling me that all the New Testament was just written in Greek? That it was not written into Hebrew?
Well, we really don't have the original, so we don't know. All we can do is speculate.
We
Have
do.
you seen them?
I'm sorry,
have
that's a
originals?
fact. That's just a simple
Let's
fact.
just throw the whole Bible out there.
No,
Nobody's
I
saying,
believe
we're not
God
saying
gave me
that.
the
We
Bible.
have confidence in that because we have confidence in
We-
God,
I
not in
believe
man.
every word of this is pure.
We still never dealt with this point. And I want y'all to give me an answer. You said that we should not keep the laws.
No. Nobody said that.
Okay.
said that.
Something to that nature.
No.
Because we cannot keep the laws perfectly,
I
right?
said
For
I
as
am
many
not
are as
without
under
law
the
to
works
Christ.
of the law are under the curse.
All right,
The
so
word is written, cursed is everyone that can continue with not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do.
So do you keep the laws?
No,
Why not?
because it's impossible for me to do that. Because if I break
Good.
one, I'm guilty of all of
Oh,
them.
that's great. That's great. Are you
So-
all faithful at all points in your life?
Never claimed to be.
So why keep the faith?
why,
if you-
why
why
should
keep the
I not
faith?
do the best I can to please
That's
God?
the same thing we're saying in the law.
You're making equal. You're making equal. Not keeping the law and not doing right with
So which is greater then? Show
giving
me.
up on the entire faith. That's,
Give me. Which is
see
greater?
again. I'm not
Which is
saying
great.
that
I
I
do not
don't
frustrate
that I'm
the grace of
against
God.
law.
For if righteousness come by the law, then Christ is dead in vain.
We know,
which
but
one
you're
is
not
greater?
reading both sides.
Oh yeah, I'm reading both
It
sides.
says the faith. You got to keep the faith in the works. the faith and the law.
But the works,
Not for
the works
salvation.
don't, the works
If you
don't
add that for
provide me with
salvation,
righteousness before
you're
God.
cursed.
If works could provide me with righteousness before God, Christ died in vain.
Hey, you know what? Rip that page, Revelation
If
14
I
out
could
your
come
Bible.
before
Throw it away,
God
man.
with my own works and say, here's a list of things that I did wrong, here's a list of things I did right.
Hey,
And so,
brothers.
God, what about it? And God said, okay, you're accepted. Then Jesus didn't
Revelation
have to die for my
14:13
sins.
again.
That's what the Bible's telling us right